Come on guys, let's go home. We got the takeaways already.
Got some managed funds, and I was like,
Takeaway,
okay,
Chinese takeaway.
Well, I don't really know
going
what to
home
do here. So what should someone in my position do when you know you need a new goal, a new investment goal?
Yeah, I guess the thing would be to start small. Like, I think, you know, whenever you're entering a new territory or you know, a topic or a subject or learning something that you don't know a lot about, I think it's always good to start small, dip your toe in, and with investing, I think, you know, that means starting with kind of $5, $10, you know, $10, that kind of thing, and learn that way. And I think there's DIY platforms like Sharesies, Hatch, Stake, you know, they've been fantastic in bringing.
Can you start with like $5 or $10 on Sharesies, can you?
Yes, yeah, you can start with little as $5, which is great because, and I think that kind of comes back to hesitancy as well, that investing was considered almost an exclusive club as well. You had to have a large lump sum to even begin. And so now, you know, having those platforms where you can invest in companies and brands that you like, and you don't have to kind of bet the house on it. You can really start to gain your confidence. You know, you definitely will make mistakes, but you know, far better than losing $5 than losing kind of $10,000. And just like driving your car, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You will have a few dings along the way, but you'll learn as you go. So yeah.
Okay, all right. There's some news that's been around in the last week anyway. Some big investment news about Facebook and Microsoft and a company called Alphabet, which is just Google's parent company that they've renamed, which I didn't realise, but also Twitter and Snapchat as well. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so there's actually the US reporting season at the moment, which just means that every quarter the US listed companies report their results, their financial results. And so this week we've had a lot of tech names. So yeah, like you mentioned, we had Facebook, Microsoft, and Snapchat was last week. Snapchat's result wasn't too hot. They have been impacted by Apple's privacy changes, so that have impacted their ad revenue. So their share price unfortunately fell about 30%.
30?
Which wasn't good. Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What terrifies me about investing is that, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to invest in Snapchat, all the users are using that, and then all of a sudden, boom, 30% drop.
Yeah. Well, that's why we say take a long-term view, because this is quarterly data, and you know, because the market has been given so much news at once in terms of how the company is operating. You know, there does tend to be a lot of share price reactions around this time. But if you take a long-term view, and then hopefully that will just be kind of a blip in your long-term projection. But I guess for the others, we had, yeah, like you mentioned, Facebook. You probably noticed the outage that they had the other week. I certainly did when I woke up to check my social media, and I thought my Wi-Fi was down, but it was actually Facebook was down. But so that didn't help. So they've had a bit of a bad run of late, and then they've also been impacted by these privacy changes by Apple. But I mean, these companies like Google, for example, their ad revenue is up 40%, and their cloud revenue, so is up nearly 50%. And these companies, like, we know these companies are absolutely huge, but to be still growing your revenue at that kind of level is pretty phenomenal. You know, and that's on billions and billions of dollars of revenue.
Yeah. So if I want to invest in Google or Snapchat or Twitter or whatever, do I just go on, because is that on Sharesies, or do I have to go to a broker, or how do I start?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so they are available on Sharesies, and the great thing is that you can buy partial shares. So like Tesla, for example, I mean, their share price is now $1,000 US for one share. So the great thing about shares is you can buy partial shares. If you don't have $1,000 US, then you can still get access to their stock. But they have access to all these. So does Hatch and Stake. They all do. I mean, these are the kind of the top global companies. And so yeah, it's as easy as typing in Facebook into their platform and buying shares that way. You can also do it through your bank. A lot of banks offer brokerage services as well.
What's the cheapest way to do it? Because I'm guessing because the banks just love charging a good old fee for stuff. Is it cheaper and better to do it with something like Sharesies, which has probably got a lot lower overheads than banks?
Yeah, I mean the banks do charge. I think it's about about $30 per trade. So if you're only buying $100 worth of stock or investing $100, that you're paying away $30 every time. It very much eats into your return over, more frequently you do it. So these platforms are dedicated for trading, so therefore they're larger, they've got the scale, and therefore their fees are a lot cheaper, which is great for people like you and me wanting to trade and dip our toe in and that kind of thing. So
okay, you mentioned Tesla just there briefly, and its stock price is going up quite a lot. I mean, one of my producers here has been walking around all week going, yes, Tesla, price is going up. This is following on from Hertz announcing it was going to buy 100,000 of its Model 3 cars, so its share price went up. I guess, is it going to come back down? I mean, I just look at that and go, fuck, surely it can't, that's unsustainable, or is that just the way it works?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, I don't know what it's going to do in the future, but I mean, I guess the reason it's gone up so much is like you said with that Hertz deal. So Hertz has bought $4 billion worth of cars. And I guess, but that in isolation is great news. But what does that tell us more broadly, I would say, is that there's validation in their vehicles and there's demand for their vehicles. And now you've got other companies wanting to buy their cars and use their cars. I think, is this the tip of the iceberg in terms of it hurts the first car rental company wanting to get Tesla, and therefore there's a whole, there's a lot of other car rental companies that want to get access to it. So it's kind of thinking more broadly beyond the headline, I think. And I think with Tesla, we all know about government struggling to meet emissions targets and the move to EV, and I think there's just such a demand and an increasing trend towards climate change, reducing our emissions, and Tesla just plays right into that. And their cars, they're not like no offense to Toyota Priuses, but they're not like Toyota Priuses. They're nice and they're sexy, and they're kind of the Apple of mobiles, I guess. Of cars. That's an iPhone of cars. So it's kind of the luxury EV. And 12 months ago, 3 years ago, 12 months ago, everyone was kind of thinking Tesla was not going to be the business it is, and it was just all going to blow up, and they weren't profitable, and that's all changed, and now they're making profit. They've reached the $1 trillion club, which the likes of Apple, Alphabet, Google, Microsoft have all joined, which gives them some validation as well. So there's an incrementally more positive news when it comes to Tesla, which is what we want to see as investors.
I just wish I'd got it before the Hertz model was announced. So I could have, seen that massive rise in a single day. Hey, stay right there, Victoria. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to have a pause, and we'll come back and we'll continue this discussion. I'm talking with Victoria Harris. She's from thecurve.co.nz. Stay with us here on Magic Talk.
Get online for more. Magic.co.nz. Magic Talk. Accurate traffic.
Varco Heat Pump Servicing Specialist.
Partly cloudy tonight, some showers and a low of 15, and starting with a bit of good news, we've got a few ferries back in action around the city as school kids went back yesterday. So Gulf Harbour, Birkenhead, Bayswater and West Harbour services are running again at reduced schedules. For details, see the AC website. The motorways are looking fine for now. Police checkpoints at the border, not too bad either.
Heat Pump Servicing with Varco. Call 08000
Home sweet home.
8888.
Here's Elizabeth Knox Home and Hospital CEO Jill Woodward. Knox has been caring for people for well over 100 years. How does this make Knox different?
Knox has always been a not-for-profit charitable trust. We're one of Auckland's most experienced care providers, and the even alternative philosophy places residents' needs at the very centre of all we do. Even though Knox residents often have higher care needs, we know that they maintain or improve health are less lonely, more active, and enjoy a higher level of well-being. We know this because we evaluate and monitor resident outcomes and opinions.
We're
It's
home.
good care for a good life. Visit us.
Camera. Alright, grab the takeaways. Make sure that's secure.